This moment. Anyway, hi everyone, welcome to a Business Creators channel. I'm so glad you found this channel. As you can see by the title, I am going to be helping you through some of the hardest interview questions that you may run across. Perhaps you have an interview coming up and you're like, I don't even know what to say if they ask me this question. And so I'm going to help you kind of get through 3 specific questions that were the hardest for me when I interview. What I did is I went into ChatGPT and I asked ChatGPT, give me 10 most common Googled interview questions. And out of the 10, I picked the 3 hardest for me. And so if you go in and Google these, you're going to come up with the most common and the best answers that most people have already documented in Google. But for me, these are my tips and my advice for the 3 hardest interview questions for me in my career path. So, interview question number 1. Okay, I'm trying to make this exciting because interviewing is not exciting and it's not the best time to be in front of people and answer questions that you're probably going to be nervous about anyway. That's okay. I'm here to help you through it. Okay, so number 1 is, and I do have note cards. Boom. I've been trying to do this. I've been trying to do my interview series and job series improv, but I have a lot of experience, so I can generally just speak to the camera and just, I'm rambling, cut this out. Pause. That was cheesy. Anyway, let's get serious now because you're here for serious reasons. And number 1 is the most Googled interview question that I picked from the list of 10 is, tell me about yourself. So when you're sitting in the room with the interviewer and they say, tell me about yourself, it's such an open-ended but most asked question. I personally had to realize how to master this response. So depending on how they asked the question and their tone, sometimes they'll be like, tell me about yourself. And so obviously that tone, they're being very friendly and you're going to be tempted to tell them about your life and your kids and your house, and you might go off on a tangent on personal answers. And so that's not the direction you want to head in, even if their tone is very friendly. Sometimes the interviewer will ask you straight out and just period, tell me about yourself. And that tone alone can be a little nerve-wracking because you are not sure what they want to hear, right? You're going to just tell them about who you are. And the main answer would be around you're a professional, right? So my advice is, even though you're tempted to talk about yourself, you can throw a couple of personal answers in there. However, keep in mind, they do take notes if you respond professionally. And it's a very important interview question because they will compare your answers to other candidates. And it took me years to discover this, right? You want to answer personal. Well, I have 3 kids and I went to this college and I love to read. And so it's very tempting to answer in that way. However, they want to get to know you on a professional level. So depending on whether you're a beginner, an intermediate, or an advanced professional, you can answer the question in your own words. So the point of the question is to get to know you professionally. Yes, you may mix, like I said, you may mix personal and professional answers, but it's not recommended. So I realized a 100% professional response was what finally got me the job. You're going to tell them your career path. For example, I began my career I began my career in a community college where I studied nursing. I began my career in a community college where I studied nursing. I was doing prerequisites to get into the nursing program. After I finished college, I decided that I wanted to change my career to business and finance because it was more aligned with my life situation at the time. And so I pivoted into accounting and finance. That's one answer. And then you go into what jobs you worked at, and you can say, I started in a small office with a construction company, and that's where I learned billing, and that's where I learned how to do payroll, etc., etc. Or you can say, I just graduated college. I haven't began my career yet, but I'm very interested in the project management industry. I'm very interested in growing in the administrative industry. And so you can say, I have not began my career, but I'm interested in ... Or I began my career working in a restaurant, and that's where I learned customer service skills. And finally, I was able to learn how to be a supervisor and work my way up to restaurant manager. And that's where I learned how to order supplies and ... If you're right out of school, that's okay. You can just let them know that you have, you just fresh out of college, and you've learned a lot in college on how to self-management skills, and you were training and you did internships and etc., etc., or you worked at a landscaping company, so now that's why you want to work at their company, because it's in the construction industry, and you learned how to ... whatever the job is for. You want to make your answer, okay, cut that out. You want to make your answer very much around the industry that you want to get the job in. Number 2, what are your strengths and weaknesses? This question is common and was always a difficult question for me, especially the weakness part. They ask this to get a better insight as to who you are as an employee. You can tell on yourself so easily by your answers, so you need to choose your answer wisely. The reason why they ask what your strengths and weaknesses are is because it gives them a bird's eye view of what you believe you're strong in and what you believe you're weak in. And those are in general hard questions to answer because it's a self-reflect question. However, they can ask this question to compare you to other candidates who have answered the question. So, my advice is, my strengths are, you're going to list and give an example of a strength, something that you're really, really good at in a work environment. For example, one of my strengths is I type really fast. I type 60 words a minute. I'm very efficient. So I feel like that is a strength in this industry because I can get a lot of work done in a smaller amount of time. Or you can say, one of my strengths is I'm very friendly and I'm a very positive person, and customers always ask for me when they come back into the store. So that's a strength, right? You're friendly, you're positive. Customers like to meet or like for you to help them out. And here's another one. Example, I'm taskful. I plan my day out. I prioritize my desk. For example, I have sticky notes of all the priorities that I have for the day, and I'm very taskful and efficient. I get my work done by priority. And I think that's very helpful, especially if during the day there is a serious situation or a workload that comes through. that is going to take up a lot of my time. I know that I've already prioritized what needed to be done first. And so this is very helpful to me, actually. So yes, there's strengths, the strengths part is very easy, obviously, but you just give them one example of a strength. You just tell them one strength that you have in the workplace and you give an example of it, and that's it. You pause. And you don't have to drag it on. It's just one answer question. Obviously, if they want to hear more, they'll be like, oh, tell me another strength. That's very interesting. Then obviously you're going to keep talking, but most interviews are about 30 minutes, so you want to keep them short and sweet. But you do want to give them a lot of information about you in a short amount of time. So practice. Always practice what you're going to say in the interview, and you'll be fine. You want to practice 2 nights before the interview, and then you also want to practice the day of, maybe an hour before you go into the interview. Scan your notes. Okay, my weakness example. Here you will name a topic that you tend to overachieve at. It's a glorified weakness. You're not really weak at anything. I mean, you don't want to say, well, I'm always running right on time. That's going to make it sound like you're always rushing to get to work or to get things done. So you don't want to say something weak. You don't want to give them a weakness trait and a positive point of view because it doesn't come out right. You're going to say, for example, I always take on too much work. I don't know how to say no. So that's a good one. I always take on too much work. I can never say no. I always take on more work that's given to me. I can't say no. This is one of my weaknesses. I do like to help people, and so I take on more work than I should. Here's another example. I always help the bussers bus the table, and I sweep. Even though I sweep under the table when the customers leave, even though it's not my job, I tend to overwork myself a little bit. That's one of my weaknesses. And so you can give other examples of a weakness that you're over glorifying a situation where it would put you not in a bad light. It's almost like you're overachieving. So you can even say, I always get to work early, so I ended up taking on doing more tasks in the morning because I clock in early. So it looks like I'm overworking. I could give you more examples in the comments. If you have any questions, please drop a $sign in the comment section and let me know you're here. Subscribe, and I will help you through your professional work-life balance and any other questions you have about interviewing. This series isn't the funnest to do, but I have so much experience I wanted to share it with you. So leave a comment, ask me questions, or if you're here and you just want to say, hello, what's up? I'm here. I watched the video. Leave a $sign. I'd love to see who you are. Okay. Next, the third question is, why are you leaving your current job? Oh my gosh. I personally have had so many jobs. This question gives me an opportunity to be transparent. For me, I always said, well, scratch that. Start over, number 3. Number 3. Okay. Number 3. Why are you leaving your current job? Just kidding. Why are you leaving your current job? So this question's always hard for me. Out of the 10 questions, most Googled interview questions, there's going to be 3 questions that are always hard for you. But these, personally, for my experience, this is the 3rd hardest question for me. Because I've had so many jobs, I've been a contractor, so I would leave one job after a contract was over after 3 months, or I'd leave after 5 months because they didn't want to hire me on, so then I would get another job, or I would just get a permanent job and just stay for a year and a half, and get bored and then go on to the next job and just keep trying to make more money, getting more experience. So I was a job hopper, and I became a professional contractor just over the grand scope of things. That's pretty much what I was. So this question was always hard for me. I love to be transparent. I would just say I think working here gives me new opportunities to grow in my career. Here you're pretty much complimenting the position, you're complimenting the company, you're saying this job has everything I want to move up in my career, the skills here, I want to learn the skills that are here, or I can bring this knowledge here and I already have these skills, or oh, I'd love to incorporate how to learn how to do spreadsheets and Excel and VLOOKUPs, or I'd love to learn more about software and sales because I've worked in a software company as customer service, but I'm really great at, I think I'd be really great at sales, and just the job description fits me so perfectly that I had to apply for this job so that I can learn sales. That's it. You're going to obtain more skills in the long run if you switch jobs. You're going to make more money. So I feel like it's important just to be transparent and just put it out there. They know, if they know that they're paying a good range salary for the position, they know that their candidates probably want to work there for the pay rate. I mean, what do we all have jobs for? It's for pay. It's to make a living. So you don't want to talk about money in the interview ever, but unless they ask. But you definitely want to get more skills, and more skills make you hire more money. So the more skills you know and the better you get at them, the longer you do a skill, the better you are at it. Okay, so finishing up here, another thing that you can say is, or another point that you can make is, I'm looking to take on more responsibility at this point in my career. So if it's a job that maybe you don't have enough experience in, you can always say that you're looking to take on more responsibility in your career. You've already been working as a help desk technician for 2 years, that you're ready to go on to a level 2 help desk technician. So anyway, like I said, please drop me a $sign in the comments. Let me know you're here. I'm very glad that you stopped by. I hope this was helpful. I know it was just, I had to read notes because if you watch my past videos, I didn't have notes, and I didn't have an intro or an outro. I was just like, hi, here I am. This is all new to me, and this is a business channel, but I feel like interviewing is an important part of business, whether you are the owner or the employee. If you're networking, you have to have those skills anyway. So thank you for stopping by, and I appreciate you. Take care and come back to the great room. Take care. Bye-bye.